Hello, 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 everyone. Again, it's an awesome, wonderful Sunday. Wasn't too cold, wasn't too hot. It was an awesome day. Today, I am going to be doing 4 Christmas cards, and I will be using different cardstocks, just to decorate the top as my first layer. I have already cut out two of my bases, but I went ahead and left one undone so that I can show from start to finish. And I also have basically a little template here that I did for myself that I can go ahead and just attach here and get the background done. Of course, you would be seeing how that is done as well. I would be using Distress ink for this demonstration. So I will be using, I don't really like dark. To me, dark is just not nice. But I'm going to be using the Distress inks. I'm going to decide which ones I want to use. Maybe I might change the colors or something, but I definitely will be using Distress ink. And of course, my applicator. I also choose to round my edges of my Christmas card. I have my bone just to, crease my cardstock for the cards. I will be using stamps, just the simple Christmas greeting at the bottom. And these are just where I'm going to put to map out my sun, which is going to be somewhere in here. So I'm basically going to be demonstrating, not as much talking as before. Hopefully you guys would be watching in peace and not in pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Again, if you do enjoy this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up, or if there's any comments or any suggestions, they are always welcome. So here are two of my card bases. I'm just going to go ahead and just set them aside, and I will start off with the just actually demonstrating how I go about doing my card bases. Now with this one, you could either cut it lengthwise this way, or you could cut it half this way. So I usually with this one, since I have two already, half, I think I'm going to do those, vertically. I think that's what I'll do. So with that said, let me go ahead and get started. Now this card is I think 8.5 by 11. So I'm looking at 4.25 to cut. So that'll be like half. So 4.25 to cut so I can get two cards. Okay, so this would be the first one. But let me just go ahead and put this aside so we can just take a look. Okay, so basically I have just cut. This is a 110 cardstock that I use for all my bases because it makes the card a lot sturdier. So I just basically halved it. So I have this one I did vertically, this one I did horizontally. So in that way we have two. So what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to fold it down here. Usually I would have used the I forgot the name of it, I'm sorry. Just to get the the line, to fold it up nicely, but this works. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other one, because if you don't have whatever you need to actually put the crease to get the card right, then that means you're not going to be making any cards, and I want you to be able to make cards. So I'm just going to do this for now, and I'm going to just go ahead and demonstrate here for you. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we could either do it this way as well, which works, just have it done this way, but I do think I want to have them all done this way. So in that way I will be able to have what I need. Okay, so each one is 5.5 by 4.25, so I'm going to set those aside. And then I am going to go ahead and get this. So for just for a few minutes, I'm just going to go ahead and get this mapped out so you can take a look and see, basically what I will be doing. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and use a little bit of washi tape just so that I can keep this a little stable. Bring it a little closer. Again, the washi tape is just to keep the pattern here from moving, or the template I have from moving, so I can make sure I get the card, the background, where I need it to be. So tonight I'm just going to do basically just one, so you can see exactly what is going to come out, and then I will definitely go ahead and try to get the pictures posted once it's done. So that is done. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start off. Yes, I have to get my son in here too. I almost forgot my son. Just put a washi tape at the back here so I can kind of get it stuck somewhere up here. Well, let me just... Okay, so if you can see that, I have put this here just to map out the sun a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and use my distress inks so that I can get what I need. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with this one. Is Mermaid Lagoon. I love this color. I don't know why I do, but I really do love this color. It works perfectly for me. So I'm just going to use this here because this is just a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper that I just use so that I can just go ahead and get everything, get what I need. So I'm just going to go ahead and just map this out really nicely. So as you can see, I'm trying to tap out so I don't have as much going on. So far so good, you can see it. Okay. Try not to make my son get in any trouble. So as you can see, trying to get all the area together. Oops, almost got my son out the way. Okay, and then I am going to try putting a little darker color in another area. Try this one here. This one is Peacock Feathers. It's like a turquoise, I guess. It more look like turquoise thingy. Okay, So I want to get more dark color over this side here. I want to make sure my moon doesn't move. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave this like that for now. And I am going to go ahead and, oops, get my fingers all colored up. Okay. So I'm going to set this aside for a minute. See, your hands can get so dirty doing this. So what I think I'm going to do, which I believe I kind of like, let me get a piece of paper that might give me some kind of landscaping. So I think I'll just kind of do this. I think that's going to work. So I'm just going to place this here. And I do have a color. I think it's this one. I just kind of want to use it just to kind of map this out a little bit. It's kind of gonna work. This is just like a fine touch. It's forgot it. I got it at Hobby Lobby. There's, you know, they had sale on these pencils, and this set of pencils I have, they like gold and, you know, colors like that. So kind of like it. So I'm just going to use that to lightly map out. Hopefully I can get the map. Okay, so I'm just going to do this so I can have kind of like a landscape happening here. And then I'll go ahead and put one here too, in that we have something in the background. Let's see. Okay, so we're looking good. So it's kind of has a little bit of landscaping in the back there. So I'm going to put this aside for now. So this would be the sun right up there and in the background. So I'm going to take off this pattern here. Make sure everything comes off. Okay, set this aside. Now, if you notice, you can kind of see a little background there. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take, I'm going to set those aside again. Let's make sure I want to. Then I'm going to go ahead and get this cut out of this here. Okay, so it's basically going to be cut out around here so that we can fit it over, right, like so. Okay, so let me get my Cuttlebug ready. I'm gonna set this here for a second. When I get my sandwich ready, it would be the A plate, the metal plate, B plate, And then I'm going to set the material on here. Sure everything is sitting properly so that I can get it to cut out. Again, when I do these get those tutorials done, to be honest, I do not even try them out before I do them. I come straight to you guys and we're doing this one together. I'm going through this a couple of times because this is kind of a little thick. This paper is a little thick, so it really does pose a challenge sometimes. So let's hope that it did go all the way through and we could just pull it out. Okay, let me see. You see it? Oh, you know what, guys? I didn't put it the right way. I am so sorry. I'm going to fix it now. See, that's what I mean. When I do these things for the first time, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I just like to do these things together with you guys so you can see that you get better with trial and error. And even if you try many times and you make mistakes, it's okay. You just have to keep learning from them, because a lot of the tutorials that are there are showing people who are so experienced that it can be intimidating for some of us, because it's like, oh, I want to do this card just like this person, but they have gone through trials, they have made mistakes. So right now they are bringing to you, just what they have learned over the years from trial and error and making their own fair share of mistakes. So okay, so here you have it. Right now I'm just trying to pry this thing out, of the corners. It can be a little troublesome too, so just bear with me while I pry it out. Just be very careful, because you don't want to tear anything that doesn't need tearing. So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. There's quite a bit to take out, actually. I'm just trying to get out as much as I can get out. This glitter paper is usually very challenging because it's a lot thicker, and it does tend to give a lot more trouble, to separate. So in as much as I'm trying to be gentle, I still also have to kind of pry it a lot more than I would pry regular other paper, because of how hard and tough it can be. Okay, so you see we have at least the first Christmas tree out. Okay, so let's see how we can do this one. Now the reindeer, I have to be so careful with the reindeer, because I can actually tear the horns out. Oh, this is quite a bit of a challenge, seriously. Let's see what we could take out that could work for now. Okay. Yeah, this thing is like a map. You have to figure out what you're taking out, what you're leaving in, what you don't want to get torn up. The glitter paper is really lovely, but it's just very challenging to work with. I think I have to also maybe do a little more research on that to see if there's any way that I can still use glitter paper without having to cringe the way I am right now, just so that I don't mess up something. Okay, so now I have to get the antlers out of this one. This is so tough. Guys, bear with me, okay? I want to make sure I get this out as best as possible without damaging anything, but it's very challenging. So hopefully we could get it out sooner than later. Yeah, this one is a lot more challenging than I thought. Yeah, it does. I don't know what I broke off, but it looks like I broke something off. Let's see. Yes. Just hang in there with me, guys. I'm seeing the forms of it, but this portion here is really the biggest challenging piece because it seems like it doesn't want to let loose. Okay, so far I managed to get this part off. Almost done, hopefully. Whew, that was something. Okay, so it looks like I got most of it out. I'm going to go ahead and just get the insides, just the little extra pieces. But if you can see, it's almost out. So just a little longer and I should have everything out. I love this glitter paper, but it is such a big challenge just getting everything out. That's why sometimes I don't even use it, but because it's Christmas time, I thought, okay, I might as well get back trying it again. But I don't think I will be using much glitter paper in the future. Maybe just straight up cut it, and that's it. Okay, so I'm going to go to the back and just try and take some of this out. The thing is, for those of you just like me who's really working towards doing something we love as a full-time job at some point in our lives, you know, people who don't really appreciate, who kind of really appreciate what we do and think, oh, you sell your cards too expensive or something like that, you know they need to understand that, I mean, you really cannot please everybody, so people are going to find, well, I'd rather go to the dollar store and get me a card for $1, and that's okay. Everybody has their, you know what they like, what they don't like, so that's okay. I had someone just asking how much I plan to charge for the cards. And boy, I tell you, every time I try to do things like that and I think of the time it takes and things like that, then there's a lot to consider. Because just this one by itself is very challenging. So it's like, okay, maybe I won't do cards like that then. In that way, then I don't have to charge very much for it, you know. Okay, so I am almost done. Let me see. Yeah, we could leave this. So take a look at this. You see, this is what we needed to have out. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside so that we can go to the next step. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Let's rest this here. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and set this over like so. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use two items to do this. I'm going to first use my tape runner because I want to get on the edges. See, yeah, these things always, I kind of have to help them sometimes. Okay, all right, so I gotta put this back a little bit because I got too much on the edge. And then I'm going to use my liquid glue because I want to make sure this kind of stick down and they're not floating all over the place. Okay, and I am almost done. So this is just a simple card. The only thing is, I know again everybody does not have, you know, die cuts and everything like that. So I think my next demonstration I'll just use plain simple colors and just, you know, show you can do Christmas cards anyhow with anything without, even if you don't have die cuts. So let me get on the edges here because I need these edges to lay down flat as well. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and get it placed down. Let's see here. Trying to get it all down. It's trying to give me a challenge here, but we're not going to allow it to. So basically we're looking at this. So if you can see it, that's what we are looking at. Just a little background, nothing too fancy. I'm trying to make everything lay flat. Okay, and then I am going to go ahead and use just a little sentiment at the bottom, which is Christmas wishes. I'm just going to get it at the bottom here. Just give me a moment. I was looking for. Okay, so we want to make sure everything is laying down nicely. Okay, there it is. Thing is laying down. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and use my We Are Memory Keepers that I love to use because it is very convenient. It's like a misty tool and I do enjoy it. The only thing is I don't enjoy when the magnets snip me, but you know, I have to also be careful. So I'm going to shift this up just a little more. Okay, and I'm going to use my VersaFine ink. So I'm going to go ahead and just pick it up right here. And just get this sentiment going. Okay, so I think we got that in pretty good. Okay, just trying to get this stay down. Okay, and there you have it. Just on the bottom it says Christmas Witches. I think you can see it right there, right on the bottom here. And then here you have just a little bit of background, you know, a little sunny thing going on there. And you know, just it's simple, you know, nothing too fancy, I would think, but that's what I'm looking at. So basically I'm going to be doing every other card that way. I would just be using a different color paper, glitter paper, and then getting the sentiment stuck in. Now I'm also going to put in, just so you guys can see, just to finish the card off, just a very simple sentiment. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You know, this one basically says, wishing you a very happy holiday. So then I'm going to put it on the inside. So I'm just going to shift this like that so I can have it turn over. Whoops. And I'm going to just put just a very simple sentiment in here. So this is not going to be anything, you know, fancy, very simple, you know, just make sure it's correct. And just sign it so it doesn't, just very simple. That's all I can see. Very simple. You don't need to make anything really complicated right now. If only I could find my, oh, there we are, my VersaFine ink. And guys, I'm just being me, okay? So I'm not going to apologize for being me. I'm just going to go ahead and do what I have to do. Okay, let's see. There you go. So very simple card, very simple sentiment. Now, if as far as personalized cards go, you could, you know, do one of two things. You know, you could, you know, maybe print out something, maybe I don't know, some sentiments you would like to put in the middle of the card, and you could also cut down, you know, a smaller square or rectangle so you can fit in here with the sentiments on it. That's one option. And you can also, you know, perhaps apart from best wishes, you could put the person's name up here. You could maybe print out the name on a piece of paper on the computer and cut it out, you know, maybe you know, just like a little banner or something, you know, so it can be more personalized. So it's entirely up to you. So there you have it. This is simple Christmas card that I wanted to share with you guys. Again, I do not do those cards or practice them beforehand. So whatever it is you see, that's what I do. You know, so please let me know what you think of this video. Give me a thumbs up. And of course, I would always appreciate a subscriber. So thank you so much for watching. And of course, see you again next Sunday with another tutorial. Good night.